Alright, so here we are. We're about to face the adventurer. And kind of just wanted to, kind of talk about the strategy going into the adventure and what you're doing. There's several different strategies, and I highly recommend that you take a look at Empyrean Sky's YouTube videos, and there's some others out there that are quite good depending on your account. In this case, I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough of my strategy. I did post a video yesterday, but one thing I didn't realize is that this program was actually recording audio. In looking at it, I have selected this to be my party. Therion is very useful because he has the passive that gives him the double moves. So as you can see here, triple bite is going to be the main move that I am using on him. Very rarely will I use Paralyzing Tooth, but it is very strong. If I do find an opening for it, I will use it to get that extra damage. But it is unlikely that I'll do that because I'm pairing him with Odette. And the reason for this is I want to use Odette as both a breaker and a damage dealer. But Odette's primary role here isn't really dealing damage directly to the adventurer, it's actually to kill the fox. So a lot of what I'm going to be doing with her is using Blinding Light and or Luminescence single 4. I will occasionally use her on some break turns when Therion is not able to do a double triple bite. For her to do the Raging Luminescence to keep that stacked up in combination with Varkin. So that explains that row and the roles that they'll be playing. The goal of this run is to literally just break the adventurer every other turn. So the fight will start off on turn 1. And the big thing about this fight is turn 1 is a key turn in the fight because the fox will get to make a move, and it's a 50% chance that it will use cover. If it uses cover, we're kind of in an awkward spot because the entire point of my strategy is to avoid the fox using cover and then facing an adventure using a double VP turn, because then the odds are higher that you die. So my strategy is literally stopping the fox from ever being a problem. So more on that later. This is why I brought Glossom. He has a 3 hit. He also has Thunder, which is nice because it targets and breaks the adventurer, but also because he has this Warrior's Waltz, which gives you physical defense, which can be very helpful when halfway through the fight when the harder slash hit from the adventurer comes along. That super slash is quite devastating and can basically knock out your party members. So it's useful to stack on there to have some extra armor. That's about it. That and he's there to take hits because Viola is weak, and I always make sure that when the adventurer gets to attack, he's attacking Glossom. So that's the whole point there. Viola is obviously here to use Triple Edge. She's a breaker. Theoretically, I can use Debilitate to weaken the fox. Sometimes I will do that, but most of the time I'll just be using Glossom, especially if the fox has already used cover. Glossom's 3 hit will be there to take down some HP on the fox. Varkin here is light damage. I'm using him and Millard here. They are actually the primary damage dealers in this composition, which may sound strange, but the Luminescence All attack hits the fox singly if he has used cover, but if the fox doesn't use cover, that's where I'm going to get most of my damage in. That chip damage by damaging the fox and Varkin at the same time is how I'm primarily progressing through the adventurer's HP. So that will be a huge chunk of the damage in this fight, and so I pair them together because I always want them to be able to do it, because the other rows have to be focused on breaking, and you'll see that in the flow of the fight as we move along. Also, Millard has the Guardian Aura as well, so I have that combined with Glossom, so I really am bringing the armor, bearing defense skills more so than E-defense. I am aware that the Meteorite spell can kill. It is RNG. It is the biggest piece of RNG in this run. I have no control over that, so I'm not going to focus too much on it. What I am going to do instead is just try to make sure I don't die to the Mass Slash.
The next row is Fior and Theo. This row is obviously Fior's here is a breaker and potentially damage dealer, but mostly just a breaker. You will quite frequently see me just attack ×4 with her and or use Trifold Slash. You could use someone like Kurin here, and I do have Kurin, but I'm not using him because I don't like the fact that Peacock Slash is random, and I don't want to waste any single hits at all. Everything has to be mathematically calculated very precisely, so I don't want to use Kurin, even though I could use him to Arithmetic Slash and kill the Fox. I chose not to do that. So that is an alternate party member if you want to try that. Theo is here for obvious reasons. I could use Alphen, but my Theo is level 99 and a 4, whereas my Alphen is only level 90, and so Theo's Esoteric Cure for now, because of the level difference and the awakenings, his cure is bigger, so I bring Theo here because this is not a speed clear, this is a methodical marathon. And he is primarily used also for his Fulgor skill. I will be using that to assist in killing the Fox. Sometimes, because he is later in the turn order based on speed, he will be the last to act, and therefore sometimes the Fox dies and the Fulgor will deal full damage to the adventurer, which is incredible and also part of the plan. Now, I arrived at this comp based on my adventurers that I have. You can use different comps. I will say it is difficult without Therion to approach the fight in the way that I am doing. It is possible. I think that you will find that because of the 6 hits from Therion, it allows me to be a little bit looser with Varkin and Fior. Sometimes Fior will not even be needed to break, and Varkin won't be used to break really at all. The reason Varkin is not used as a primary breaker in the sense of towards my strategy, he does break, of course. The reason I say that is because when the Fox has been respawned after the break, so after on the break turn, I kill the Fox and the adventurer comes out of break. The adventurer takes action first. All 4 of my characters get to go, and then she summons the Fox at the end. Varkin is the only one in my team that is slower than the Fox. So ideally, I could go for a little bit more smooth strategy by making him faster, but I didn't want to sacrifice his equipment any more than that. So I made sure to make Varkin faster than the Adventurer, but not the Fox, because I am breaking with Therion, Viola, and Fior. And that will be the turn order. So, turn 1 is essentially coming out of the break. The Adventurer attacks live. That's step 1. Step 2, deal either ideally 6 hits with Therion or 3, depending on whether he has his Divine Feet up, his passive. Odette will occasionally be the 3 that I use there to conserve SP on Therion, because Therion is quite SP hungry. So I do use Odette when Therion is on cooldown for his double move. And then Viola will be doing either a triple edge or a 4x attack. Then Varkin will be doing his Raging Luminescence, which will go after Fior, but Fior will either be doing Trifold Slash or a 4x attack. So if you're doing the math, Therion at 6, Viola at 4, that's 10, Varkin at 3, that is 13, and then Fior at 4 is 17. So that makes it very easy on the second turn to get the break with just Therion and Viola, which then leaves Varkin and Fior to be free, so I can either use Millard if I need to, or Theo if I need to. I can bring Theo out, and I will frequently use Theo on those turns to go ahead and get Esoteric Cure applied. The people that will be hit and facing the brunt of the damage are specifically calculated to be Odette, Glossum, Millard, and Theo. Millard and Theo specifically because I have them at A3 and A4, which gives them more HP and therefore more survivability to get through that. Glossum is also level 100, and so with that said, he has enough HP generally to survive. That makes Odette the weakest link, but she does have a little bit more survivability than Therion just by way of being a couple levels higher. So that's the reasoning for that. If you do have someone else at A3, you can consider letting them be the brunt of the damage. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more into specifics on the equipment. So if you see here, I do have Twilight gear on pretty much everyone. I do have a Sacred Armor on Odette. That is just because I
don't feel like changing the gear, and a Magic Wolf robe and magic gear on Millard. Again, that is because he has the HP to survive the physical attack, and the magical attack then will have less chance of killing him. And everyone else is basically just in Twilight gear, except for a couple of obvious exceptions to this, being the King Chomper vests on Varkin and Fior. And actually, I need to go ahead and put the Chomper vest back on Odette. I had changed it for a particular fight with Ritu to hit 10 turns. I did get that, so I no longer need that. I do want her to have a Chomper vest here so that she goes early in the turn order and goes faster than the Fox. Speed is very important. You're looking to hit speed at 333 or higher. So that is incredibly important. So let me just find one of my open King Chomper vests. If I don't have one, I'll steal one from someone who no longer needs it. Sigrid still needs it. I use Laura, Fior. Okay, so Minnow no longer needs this, so I'm going to steal it from her. That puts her up to 341 speed, so that is above the 333 that I need to be faster than the Fox. What you will notice here is that Varkin is only at 311 with the Chomper vest. I would have to give up Kote's right glove, which I like to increase his damage, and trigger his passive to get his SP low enough. With that said, this is a longer fight, so Kote's glove could be sacrificed. I'm just not doing it because I use them in other stuff and I'm lazy. So I'm just going to leave it as is, but you can absolutely put a speed item there and Varkin would then be faster. You'll see that in the middle of the run. The rest of this is just making sure I hit certain HP totals. Glossum needs to survive, so 3,200 HP, so I did put a sleep ward on him. Fior's HP is less important, but it's still important, so I do have her at 3397 HP, and here we see that Odette's at 3286, so I do have an HP item on her to make sure that she does live. Millard is at 4100 HP. He's pretty safe, but I still put some HP on him just because I don't really see that he needs more E-attack. It's not going to drastically change anything. Theo literally is a surviving machine. I gave him his A4 thing because it's his, and I just like doing that. And then, of course, he has the Veteran's emblem on just to raise his damage for when he does hit. But he's here for survival. He's got 4,500 HP. He's large, in charge. He ain't dying. Obviously, Therion having the least HP here. Therion and Viola have very low HP or they like to die. I did put 200 HP on Viola just because she has a tendency to die in everything that I do. Therion has lower. That's why he sits in the back row during the turns that we're going to take damage. So we'll show that in a minute. So again, just going through, you see his speed is slower than Viola. I want Viola to always go first in case I don't kill the Fox, because I don't want to have to not use the 6 hit on a turn. It's very important that I'm always on schedule for my breaks. I do have allies, and I will use them if necessary, depending on how the Fox rolls. But the goal is to have a specific turn order. So in the front row, we have Therion and Viola, even though I have it reversed here. In terms of that, I like to switch Viola. She has 500 speed, so she'll go first, then Therion, and then from there, we will see Fior at 338 speed, and finally, bringing up the rear is Varkin at 311. In the back row, we do have Glossum at 378. Odette is at 341. So that will be the second person to go, and then 335 at Millard, and finally 334 at Theo. So those are your turn orders. You can see that I've cracked that 333, even if just barely. So that is there. I didn't have to use any speed gear on, Theo or Millard, which is nice, but Odette, Varkin, definitely needed the speed gear there. And Fior. I also needed the 38 speed on Fior because she's quite slow otherwise. Not among warriors, but for this fight. The next thing I want to point out is I'm just going to come out and let's look at our allies. So the allies I'm bringing for this fight, I occasionally use the powerful copper if I run out, but I'm using the former warrior. It's just a 3-hit sword, pretty straightforward. Cheerful Agrabah, 3-hit dagger. So that's pretty much it as far as it goes.
You can bring, a couple of, there are other allies that you can bring. Any of the 3 hit. The one in Victor's Hollow. When you leave the inn and go due north, and the first person you see there, you can get that one for the 3 hit as well. I don't plan on using any allies in this run, but I may be forced to, depending on how I deal with the fox. If I screw up, I will use an ally to rescue myself. If you don't have Therion, one thing that you could do is plan on just using attack ×4 more often, and occasionally throwing in an ally to make up for those lack of hits. So that is another way to sort of get around that. Now, with that said, we've been through the gear, we've looked at the skills, we've talked about the travelers. It's time to put it in action. So let's go ahead and start. And the first thing that I want to point out is, again, this first turn is very critical. Just incredibly RNG based, but this fox is going to make an action. I'm going to go ahead, pop the triple bite. We're going to triple edge. We're going to Lux Congear here. This is one of the only times that I use the Congerer or whatever. I can't pronounce it. I don't know. I'm from the South. Whatever. Anyway, and then I'm going to go ahead and Trifold Slash. I'm not getting too fancy. I want to stock BP if possible, except for with Mr. Therion here. And this, the danger here is if this fox covers, this isn't going to hit the adventure. It's going to hit the fox. And then that's going to throw my my plans in order. But if I do get the BP donation, then we're all good. We're all going. This is what's going to happen. Let's see. All right. All right. There we go. Down to 12 already. Down to 9. Looking good. Power to the adventurer. We got the smooth opening. No bad RNG. Down to 6. So you see the math. Down to 6 first turn. Don't care about the damage. Not worrying about healing here. The people that got hit are going to be in the back every other attack for the rest of the fight. So what I do here is it's a triple edge. It's a triple bite. I want to go ahead and get that break in. The next thing I'm going to do, boom, I'm going to hit everybody. And also here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get, since I'm going to take advantage of his passive and just go ahead and put a hurting on this fox. I'm just going to get the fox nice and primed to die next turn, and then I'll focus on an esoteric cure with Theo. That's going to be the strategy. And you see it break. Okay, cool. Adventurer is not my target now. The fox is. That's the whole point of this strategy. Boom. Fox is at just over half health. We're going to come out the gate here. A little whack-a-mole. Get a little this thunder refrain in. And then we're going to go over here to this. And one of these attacks... No, we're going to go Esoteric Cure. This is going to be enough to kill the fox because it's so close to half health. If the fox were closer to full health, then I would full gore to make sure that the fox dies because that's critical. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just show you the fox getting its face nuked off. Goodbye, fox. We'll see you later. And here we go. A little damage to Miss Adventurer, and as you can see, there's the damage dealt by Millard. I told you Millard was going to be the focus. If you didn't believe me, you will by the end of this run. We're going to go ahead and attack ×4 here. We're going to leave Odette out here because the passive isn't ready for Therion, and we're going to go ahead and attack ×4. So you'll watch the numbers, watch the breaks. All right, here comes the slash. Ow, that hurt. Lived, don't matter, don't care. Here we go. All right. And look at that number. Boom. It's at 7. All right. That's even without using Therion's double hit. It's at 7. So that makes this turn very easy. It's just a triple bite, triple edge. I need to hit at least once with Fior here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to see if I can get some damage sneaked in. So let's go ahead and go. All right, smooth. Notice that the fox doesn't get to go until Varkin. Boom, cover, doesn't matter. Got a little chip damage on the fox, cool deal. This turn, we already got the Esoteric Cure off, so we're going to go ahead and full gore here. We're going to go ahead and Luminescence all again with Mr. Millard. This is going to hit the fox, and just to make double sure, we got to make sure this fox dies, so I spare no expense. This fox has to die. Now, if I ever get a recast on this, it's super nice because the rest of the damage gets to come through. But in this case, there we have it. And now we see Theo dropping the boom.
All right, cool deal. There's the cure. Again, 4 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 6 hits. Let's go. We're just breaking on schedule. That's the whole point of this fight. Just break on time. Break on time. The only other part of RNG at the end of this run is when the adventurer is at low HP. Gotta make sure you don't actually kill the adventurer with the fox alive, but we'll get to that later. Alright, it's at 4 shields. This is super easy. So to save a little SP with Therion, I'm just going to Blinding Light to get a little chip damage to get that broken. That's going to be the order. Those two are going to go first. So now I'm just going to make sure I put some Esoteric Cure on, and I'm still dropping the boom with the Luminescence there. Beautiful. Right on schedule. There's the cover. Don't care. Alright, so the fox is a little bit more health than we love. Doesn't matter. Following through with what I told you, because that's what we do here. Very good. And we see the fox. Oh, that little bit. That's insulting. Oh, well, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're in this for the long haul. This is going to be a 30-turn marathon. Maybe a couple turns shorter, maybe longer. Don't really care. Here we go. Right back to what we were doing before. No deviation to the strategy. It's boring, but it works. All right. Now, let's see if we can't get this thing. Boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm talking about. 4. Okay. Now this is easy. Again, you're going to see me do this so often, you're going to fall asleep. You're just going to fall asleep. This time I'm going to go with the Fulgor first, and I'll throw the cure on next turn. Alright. Oh, a repeated Aria. You love to see it. You love to see it. Oh, that's beautiful. That 13k felt so nice. Alright, so the fox is definitely dead. 100% dead. I'm not even going to go above 1 pip there. We're not doing it. The fox is going to eat it. Yes, even got the lucky bounce on the Thunder Refrain. Oh, I'm sorry, fox. Go home. And that's a nice slap. 10k damage from Millard. I told you. Main damage dealer. Barkin and Millard right here. Alright, so the passive is ready. Let's just go. This time we don't get the 4 hits, but that's okay. They'll be ready next time. Just continually pounding this down. Oh, you hit me for 2k? That's cute. Don't care. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Down to 6. So that means that I'm going to use those two. I'm actually going to use Therion this time because I don't want to use Fior here. To break, I'm actually just going to go ahead and yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. And again, pretty consistent. I like to be free with the bottom 2 rows, which is why I have them set up this way. Alright, there's the cover. Alright, it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. This time, Odette's dropping the boom. Again, cool. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and keep that cure going. We don't want to drop the reach in at any point. It gets dicey when that happens. And there we go. We have another dead fox. That's pretty sweet. And the cure. Alright, so this time, keeping Odette out. But all 4 there. It's so easy. It's so easy. Being cheesy. Yes, this is boring, so I'm just coming up with dumb rhymes now. From the longest yard, of course. Alright, 7. So, again, that's the reason why we have the Esoteric Cure focus. We're going to go ahead and go back to that first turn pattern. This should look familiar. It's all cyclical. Everything before the fox. Everything before the fox at the top right. Or left, excuse me. Just watch that turn order and you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, fox, you did wrong. Oh, yeah, repeated Aria from Varkin. 10% on that. Love to see it. You'll love to see it. Alright, so what we're going to do is just do what we do every time. We're only going to do a 2. I want to get a stronger esoteric cure. Maybe have to take a turn off from that. A little chip damage from my boy Glussie there. And Millard with the big bang, 10k. Alright, Theo, little damage. Alright, so here we go with the esoteric cure. No, don't get off schedule. Don't lose focus. Triple bite. Attack times 4. Raging. Yes, should have done the cure, but that's okay. The next one will be bigger. Oh, the RNG. Long as she doesn't get hit 3 times, it's okay. All 4 times would definitely kill her. And we're at 4, so we're going to be bringing back Esoteric Cure wore off, so that's a little dangerous, but that's okay. We got it covered because this time we are doing we're going to get the cure in, but we don't want to use it all. Okay, we're just going to go ×2 there. We want to get a good Esoteric Cure off of this. There's the break. Let's go. Repeated Aria would be cool. No, that works. Didn't cover, so that's good damage. Alright. Now, this has to be a cure. I want a waltz here, but I want to make sure this fox dies. I don't know that I have enough damage. Yeah, I do. Odette, you can. I got an ally that I can use if necessary. So hopefully, I get the clean. Between Millard and Odette, we get the clean, but I really want to make sure that I have the survivability here. Oh, well, Odette coming through in the clutch. Yeah, I didn't even need that, but okay. Just more damage. Yeah, that's going to speed the fight up. We love to see it. You love to see it. So, I mean, I'm not worried that Theo and Millard didn't get the waltz. Ultimately, it's really just for Odette and Glossom here to survive. So, again, that's why I'm focused with those two and their speeds because, well, honestly, they're just beefy boys. That's just what they are. Alright, so this is a pretty straightforward turn. Oh my, oh my. Oh, look at that. He got hit 3 times sitting there with 1400 HP. That's why I like Millard. That boy just lives. He is just such a good boy. What a good Millard. Alright, cool. So this is an easy turn. Look at that, right back to full. Theo is such a good boy. Alright, so this time we're going to go ahead and... no, we're not doing that. What are we doing? What are we thinking? That would probably work, but let's not take any chances. We want to stay on schedule here. It's all about staying on schedule. Let's not lose focus in the middle of this run. Alright, you're taking damage. Now, here's what I'm talking about. It's going to get a little dicey. Because of the AoE, I can get the adventurer quite low here in the future turns. But for now, completely safe, so we're going to keep going with the same strategy that we've been using. I'm actually going to 2 times that. Yeah, alright. Oh, we got lucky with all 3 hits. That should be fine. The AoE will take care of it. We are good. I have not made any mistakes with the fox this fight, which is rare. A lot of people will try to blitz this fight here. I am not losing focus. I am not taking chances. This is what I do. I just stick to the plan. Supermass Slash hurts, but it doesn't matter because they're in the back row. They're going to heal. They're going to get Esoteric Cure on them. It's all good. It's just a formula. You just stick to the plan, and it all works.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Are we just going this way?
Staying on time. You know what? She has plenty of SP. I'm going to give you the deviation, and that's the crumbling cut here. It'll work. It's another thing that you can do. Because it does nice damage, lowers the physical down. I'm going to deal magic damage, but as you can see, it's at a good health there for me to be able to just kind of save a little SP here. not SP, but BP, because I really just want to get a nice esoteric cure here as I prepare for the final rounds. I have to be quite careful soon. That's a lucky recast. Take it, because the adventurer's health is getting dangerously low. So I have to be very mindful of how I approach the fox from here on out. I am going to go ahead and raging. We'll times 4, and we will raging there again. Owie, owie, owie. That hurt, but we're okay. And that is some low HP. So these breaks are going to scare me. I am scared of these breaks. Holy hand grenade of Antioch, Batman, am I scared. So all of the damage, so that's 9 hits. All of this damage is going directly onto the fox. We're not taking any chances at all to overkill here. Oh, please don't die. Oh, please don't die. Oh, Lord, that is terrible. Oh, that is terrible. I have never had this happen, but there it is, folks. Now you see the Adventurer Reborn. This is a catastrophe, but what we have to try to do here is just continue to stick to the plan. This is horrible. This is not what we wanted. I was afraid of that. In this case, I am going to use an ally to try to stay on track. I am just going to keep grinding this out. The blind is horrible. Power to the adventurer, so we got lucky there. Ow. Alright, so that helped a lot. The blind is actually a problem here. We're going to... Oh, this is awful.